Let me ask you a question that will shake you. Why do some people completely dominate their markets while others, equally intelligent and hardworking, spend their entire lives fighting for crumbs? The answer will shock you. It's not about working harder, it's not about having more talent, and it's definitely not about following your passion, as those self-help gurus love to repeat. The stark truth is this: the geniuses who crush the competition know brutal tactics that no one dares to teach. Machiavelli knew this centuries ago. Politics is guided by reality, not romantic ideals, and the reality is that there's a game being played behind the scenes, a game where a select few dominate while the majority don't even know they're losing. Have you ever noticed how certain people seem to have access to opportunities that never come your way? How they build empires while you're stuck in the same position for years? It's not luck, it's not destiny, it's pure, calculated, and ruthless strategy. And today you're going to learn exactly what they do differently. Get ready, because what you're about to discover in the next few minutes could shatter everything you believed about success. But it could also be the key that finally unlocks the doors to the limitless power you always knew you deserved. If something inside you awakened while listening, don't ignore that feeling. This channel isn't about videos, it's about memories. Remember who you were before the fear, before the exhaustion, before the silence. Each new video here is a different reflection of your own soul. An invitation to understand what the world never taught you. The power you seek outside has always been within you. If you feel that this journey speaks to what lives silently within you, sign up now, not to follow yet another creator, but to reconnect with something the world tried to make you forget. Because here, every word was made to heal, each reflection to awaken, and each video serves as a reminder. You are not alone on the path back to yourself. Click on subscribe and turn the algorithm into a daily reminder of who you really are. Do you know the dirtiest secret nobody tells you about extraordinary people? They don't play fair. No, we're not talking about breaking laws or acting unethically. We're talking about something much deeper and more powerful. Machiavelli already said that politics is guided by reality, not ideals. And the same goes for business and life. True geniuses see the board in a completely different way, identifying invisible asymmetries that separate the conquerors from the eternal losers. While most compete on the same saturated battlefield, using the same worn-out weapons, these strategists find secret shortcuts, backdoors, and privileged access that transform the game into something almost unfair. It's as if they have the treasure map, while everyone else is digging random holes in the sand. This advantage doesn't arise from nothing. It's built, cultivated, and protected like a state secret. And here's the part nobody wants to admit. You too can create these advantages if you stop playing by the rules others invented to keep you average. The first major asymmetry that geniuses exploit is exclusive access to information. Think about it. While your competitor is reading the same generic blogs everyone else reads, you're talking directly to people who have already done what you want to do. That's the difference between theory and brutal reality. We're not talking about public knowledge. We're talking about insights you only get when you're in the right circle, having the right conversations, in the right environments. It's that hallway conversation that's worth more than 1,000 online courses. It's the WhatsApp message that rings with an opportunity before it becomes headline news. Warren Buffett didn't become a billionaire reading the same news you read. He built a network of strategic relationships that gives him information before the market processes it. This constant adaptability to reality, not to romantic ideals of hard work, is what separates the dominators from the dominated. And here's an inconvenient truth. If you're still competing only on effort, you've already lost before you even begin. But information alone isn't enough. You need to transform it into insurmountable barriers that protect your territory. True masters don't just find advantages, they fortify them in ways the competition can't even dream of achieving. Think about how companies create ecosystems so complex that they become virtually impossible to replicate. Apple doesn't just sell phones. It created an entire universe where apps, services, devices, and even culture intertwine in a way that you simply can't switch to another brand without losing half your digital life. That's virtue in action, the ability to shape reality to your advantage. Strategic relationships work the same way. When you become indispensable to powerful people, when you are the connector that unites different worlds, you create a moat around you that few can cross. And you know what's most fascinating? While everyone is obsessed with improving 1% per day, geniuses are creating invisible monopolies that make competition irrelevant. They don't want to be better. They want to be the only ones. Here's a truth that will sound brutal, but you need to understand. Most battles are won before they even begin. Not on the physical field, not in technical execution, but in the mind of your opponent. Machiavelli knew this better than anyone. He understood that it's better to be feared than loved, but above all, to avoid being hated. Why? Because strategic fear paralyzes, while hatred motivates revenge. True masters of strategy don't need to shout, threaten, or make a fuss. They simply occupy so much mental space in their opponent that every decision becomes a reaction to them, not a genuine action. It's like chess. The grandmaster doesn't win because he moves the pieces faster, but because each move plants seeds of doubt in the opponent's mind. While you're playing the game, he's playing with your mind. And when someone manages to make you question your own decisions before you even execute them, you've already lost control of the game. Silent intimidation is an art few master because everyone confuses presence with noise. Consider this: the person who shouts the loudest in the room is rarely the most dangerous. It's the one who stays quiet, observing, processing, calculating. This calculated use of psychological force creates an invisible gravitational field around them. Steve Jobs didn't need to explicitly threaten anyone, but his presence in a room completely changed the dynamic. People prepared more, thought twice, raised their standards simply because they knew mediocrity wouldn't be tolerated. This isn't bullying. It's establishing such a solid reputation that it does the hard work for you. When your name carries weight, when people know you deliver relentless results, you don't even need to prove anything in every interaction. Your history speaks for itself. And here's the key. This reputation isn't built on desperate self-promotion, but on decisions based on real human nature, delivering results that leave everyone wondering, how did he do that? Now let's talk about the mental positioning that separates amateurs from professionals. Have you ever noticed how some competitors always seem to be one step ahead? Not because they're faster, but because they make you dance to their tune. They dictate the pace, choose the terrain, define the rules of engagement. This is politics guided by reality, not by romantic ideals of fair competition. Think of Elon Musk. He doesn't wait for the market to validate his ideas. He announces plans so ambitious that he forces the entire industry to react. While traditional automakers were debating whether electric cars were viable, he was already building gigafactories and making everyone else look slow and outdated. This is the essence of modern psychological warfare, making your competitors expend energy reacting to you while you remain 3 moves ahead. And when you master this dynamic, something magical happens. They start to self-sabotage, making hasty decisions just to avoid seeming irrelevant. You don't need to destroy them. They destroy themselves trying to keep up with your pace. Want to know the most crowded graveyard in the business world? It's not where bad ideas die. It's where perfect ideas are never born. There's a legion of brilliant people out there, with impeccable plans, sophisticated strategies, enviable presentations, but they never get off the ground. Do you know why? Because they're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect conditions. Meanwhile, the geniuses are out there making mistakes, adjusting course and conquering territory. Machiavelli understood that the end justifies the means, and that means imperfect results are infinitely more valuable than perfect intentions. The stark truth is this: while you're polishing your business plan for the 10th time, someone with half your knowledge is already 3 steps ahead simply because they had the courage to start. This constant adaptability, this brutal and rapid movement, is what separates the conquerors from the eternal planners. And here's a bitter pill. The market doesn't reward those who think best, but those who act first. Brutal and rapid execution isn't about being sloppy or irresponsible. It's about understanding that speed creates advantages that no amount of planning can replicate. Think of Amazon. Jeff Bezos didn't wait to have the perfect logistics system before he started selling books. He started selling from a garage, making mistakes, adjusting, improving, expanding. While large bookstore chains were in endless meetings debating whether the internet was a real threat, he was already dominating the digital territory. This calculated use of force through speed creates momentum that your competitors simply can't match. It's like a snowball rolling down a mountain. The faster you move, the more mass you accumulate, the more impossible it becomes to stop. And you know what's even more powerful? Each rapid iteration gives you real data, real-world feedback, learnings that no office planning can predict. While perfectionists are theorizing, you're learning from the brutal reality of the market. But there's a dark side to this that needs to be said. Speed without direction is just chaos disguised as action. The key is combining this rapid execution with decisions based on real human nature, not corporate fantasies. True masters know that speed doesn't mean doing everything. It means doing the right things quickly and discarding the rest without mercy. Look at Mark Zuckerberg at the beginning of Facebook. He didn't try to build the perfect social network with every imaginable feature. He launched a basic version just for Harvard students, saw that it worked, expanded to other universities, adjusted, improved, and conquered territory, while MySpace and Orkut were stuck in their own bureaucracies. This virtue of acting at the right moment, of having the courage to launch something imperfect and improve it in real time, is what transforms projects into empires. And when you master this mindset, something fascinating happens. Your mistakes become your fastest teachers, while the competition is still in the theoretical classroom, dreaming of the perfect grade they'll never get. Now pay attention to this explosive truth. If you're playing by the existing rules, you've already accepted a silent defeat. Why? Because those rules were created by those already at the top precisely to keep you down. It's like entering a casino. The house always wins because it created the rules of the game. Machiavelli knew that politics is guided by reality, not ideals. And the reality is that established systems exist to perpetuate themselves. True geniuses don't waste time trying to be better within the existing game. They blow up the entire board and create a new one where only they have the right weapons. This isn't adolescent rebellion or pointless anarchy. It's pure, calculated, and brutal strategy. When you change the rules of the game, you transform all the experts of the old game into confused amateurs of the new game. And while they're trying to understand what the hell happened, you're already dominating the new territory. That's the difference between competing and conquering. Calculated disruption begins with a simple yet powerful question. Why does it have to be this way? While everyone accepts the status quo as natural law, disruptors see every "it's always been this way" as a giant opportunity for revolution. Take Netflix, for example. When Reed Hastings decided to attack Blockbuster, he didn't try to open better video rental stores. He destroyed the entire concept of going to a physical store to rent a movie, first with DVDs by mail, then with streaming. Blockbuster had all the advantages of the old game: stores, brand, capital, experience. But that became a disadvantage in the new game. This calculated use of force through paradigm shift is devastating because your competitors are stuck defending past investments while you are building the future. And here's the key. It's not about having the best technology or the biggest budget. It's about identifying which new reality will make the old world obsolete and betting everything on it before others wake up. But be warned, mindless disruption is just burning money and making noise. Calculated disruption is about deeply understanding what pain point no one is solving and creating a solution so superior that going back to the old model seems absurd. Look at Uber. They didn't invent taxis, but they destroyed the traditional taxi model because they solved real pain points. You know how much you'll pay before you get in. You know who the driver is. You rate the service. You pay without cash. Suddenly, getting into a regular taxi seemed like something from the last century. That's the essence of virtue applied to disruption, creating an experience so superior that the competition simply can't compete without completely reinventing itself. And when giants try to reinvent themselves, they have to fight against their own bureaucracy, their own structures, their own vested interests. Kodak invented the digital camera, but died because it didn't want to kill its own film business. Meanwhile, companies that had nothing to lose embraced digital fearlessly and dominated the new world. The lesson here is clear. If you want to crush the competition, don't be better at their game. Create a game they can't even enter. Here's a truth nobody wants to hear, but everyone needs to understand. You're losing because you're trying to do too many things. Sounds contradictory? Well, that's exactly where the secret of geniuses lies. While the masses are chasing 1,000 opportunities, scattering energy like confetti at carnival, true masters are doing only one thing, but doing it so absurdly well that they become impossible to compete with. Machiavelli understood that decisions based on real human nature require brutal choices, not comforting illusions that you can have it all. Real human nature is this: your energy is limited, your time is limited, your attention is limited. When you try to embrace the world, you embrace nothing. You just float on the surface of mediocrity. But when you concentrate all your fire on a single point, that's when you pierce any armor, defeat any competitor, conquer any market. The obscene power of saying no is precisely that. The courage to reject 99% of opportunities to completely dominate 1%. And that 1% is worth more than the 99% combined. Monomaniacal obsession seems like madness to outsiders, but it's pure strategic rationality when you understand the game. Think of Kobe Bryant. He wasn't just good at basketball, he was obsessed in a way that even scared his teammates. He would wake up at 4 a.m. to train, spend hours after official practice practicing shots, and study game videos like a scientist analyzes data. While other talented players were diversifying their attention, advertising here, partying there, business over there, Kobe was doing one thing: becoming the best basketball player he could be. This constant adaptability within a singular focus created such a brutal advantage that he had 5 championship rings, while more talented players naturally ended their careers without achieving anything. And you know what's most fascinating? He didn't hide this obsession. He transformed it into psychological intimidation. Opponents already entered the court knowing they were facing someone who wanted more, trained more, sacrificed more. Half the battle was won before the game even started. But let's make something crystal clear. Obsessive focus isn't about stubbornness or refusing to learn new things. It's about having brutal clarity about what truly matters and eliminating everything that doesn't directly contribute to that goal. Warren Buffett has a famous rule: make a list of 25 goals, choose the 5 most important, and treat the other 20 as your mortal enemies, because they will steal time and energy from the 5 that truly matter. This is a policy guided by reality, not by romantic ideals that you can do a little bit of everything. Bill Gates, when he was building Microsoft, had no hobbies, didn't take vacations, and wasn't distracted by anything other than software. This virtue of concentrating all your strength on a single goal creates such powerful momentum that the competition simply can't keep up. While they are diluting themselves into mediocrity, you are becoming irreplaceable, unparalleled, unbeatable. And when you reach that level of mastery in a specific area, something magical happens. Opportunities start chasing you, not the other way around. Now let's talk about a truth that will make many people uncomfortable. You don't achieve anything alone. Zero. Nothing. This fantasy of the self-made man, the lone wolf who conquers the world with his own hands, is the most dangerous lie they sell you. Machiavelli knew that your own loyal armies are infinitely more valuable than mercenaries, and this applies perfectly to your relationships. True geniuses don't see networking as exchanging business cards at boring events or superficial connections on LinkedIn. They see it as building an invisible army of strategic allies that multiply their power exponentially. It's like 3-dimensional chess. Each right person in your circle is not just a piece, but an entire player who brings their own board, their own connections, their own resources. When you master this art, you are no longer competing alone against the world. You have a battalion fighting alongside you, opening doors you didn't even know existed, creating opportunities that no technical skill alone could generate. And here's the obscene secret. While the masses are networking, the masters are building genuine loyalties worth millions. Predatory networking isn't about using people, it's about creating such strategic value that you become indispensable to those who truly matter. Think about it. If you want to access a new market, you can spend years trying to understand it on your own, or you can connect with someone who already dominates that market and create a win-win partnership. That's the essence of the calculated use of strength through relationships. You don't compete where you can collaborate. You don't build where you can connect. Look at the example of Reid Hoffman, founder of LinkedIn. Even before creating the company, he had already built such a powerful network in Silicon Valley that when he needed investment, mentorship, or talent, he had direct access to the best. Not because he was likable, but because he consistently added genuine value to these people. He connected investors with opportunities, introduced talent to companies, and shared market insights. When it was his turn to ask for help, he had an army ready to go to war for him. That's the difference between superficial networking and strategically building social capital. But here's where most people go terribly wrong. They want to connect with powerful people without having anything to offer. They want to be in the same room as the big shots without paying the entrance fee. The brutal reality is this: strategic relationships are like any other investment. You need to put in value before you can extract value. And we're not talking about pathetic flattery or desperate bootlicking. We're talking about being so good at what you do that powerful people want you on their team. Think of Chamath Palihapitiya. He didn't go crying to Mark Zuckerberg begging for a job at Facebook. He built such a solid reputation in growth hacking that Facebook came after him. That appearance of virtue, combined with real results, creates a gravity that attracts the right people. And when you have the right people around you, you don't just multiply your capabilities. You transform your vision into reality in a way that would be impossible alone. Because ultimately, empires aren't built with bricks. They're built with strategic alliances that make your victory inevitable and your barriers to entry insurmountable. We've reached the most brutal point of all, the one that forever separates conquerors from spectators, the courage to bet everything when everyone else is retreating. Do you know the difference between someone who changes the world and someone who just watches? It's not intelligence, it's not luck, it's not connections. It's the willingness to put everything on the table when the opportunity arises. Machiavelli understood that the end justifies the means, and this means that great achievements require great bets. There is no middle ground between mediocrity and greatness. You don't build an empire by reserving 10% of your energy and keeping a comfortable plan B in your pocket. True geniuses burn the bridges behind them, eliminate the possibility of retreat, and advance with a determination that borders on insanity in the eyes of the cautious. While the masses are calculating risks, protecting themselves against failure, keeping their options open, the dominators are going all in on their convictions. And you know what happens? This brutal courage not only increases your chances of success, it literally creates opportunities that wouldn't exist for someone who's just testing the waters with a little toe. The all-or-nothing mentality isn't irresponsibility disguised as audacity. It's a decision based on the real human nature that you only achieve extraordinary results when you take extraordinary risks. Look at Elon Musk in 2008. After selling PayPal, he had hundreds of millions of dollars. The smart move would have been to diversify, invest in safe things, secure his fortune. But he did the opposite. He put all his money into Tesla and SpaceX, two companies that were on the verge of bankruptcy. He even had to borrow money to pay rent. Was it crazy? For most, yes. But for him, it was the only move that made sense, because he didn't want to be just another billionaire investor. He wanted to change humanity. And this insane gamble, this calculated use of force, putting everything at risk, is what transformed him from rich to legendary. Today, he is the richest man on the planet, not because he played it safe, but because he had the courage to risk losing everything. While others hesitated, he took the gamble, and that is the essence of virtù, the courage to act when fortune appears. But let's be honest about the dark side of this mentality. Not everyone who bets everything wins. Many go broke, many fail, many lose everything. And that's exactly why this mentality separates geniuses from amateurs. Because geniuses don't bet blindly. They bet when they've identified such a large asymmetry that the risk pays off exponentially. They have constant adaptability to adjust course, but they never abandon the mission. Think of Jeff Bezos leaving a stable job on Wall Street to sell books online when the commercial internet barely existed. Everyone thought it was crazy, but he had done his homework. He had identified that e-commerce was going to explode, and he bet everything on it. And when you have that combination, deep conviction based on real analysis plus brutal courage to execute, you create an energy that simply cannot be stopped. Because while others are waiting for more data, more guarantees, more security, you are already building, already dominating, already 3 steps ahead. And when they finally decide to enter the game, you already own the field and dictate the rules. Now answer me honestly. After everything you've just learned, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep this knowledge in a drawer and go back to your comfort zone? Or are you going to have the brutal courage to apply these tactics to your life? Because let me tell you something, information without action is just entertainment. And you're not here to be entertained, you're here to dominate. Machiavelli said that decisions based on real human nature separate conquerors from dreamers. And real human nature is this. Most people will watch this video, agree with everything, even get emotional, but on Monday, they'll be doing exactly the same things they've always done, expecting different results. Do you really want to be part of that majority, or are you going to be that 1% that actually implements, that identifies their unfair advantages, that builds their strategic network, that bets everything when the opportunity arises? The choice is yours, but it needs to be made now, not tomorrow, not after things get better, not when you feel ready, because that perfect moment will never come. So tell me in the comments, Which of these tactics will you implement first? What is your biggest challenge in crushing the competition? Let's discuss this, because this community is made up of people who want real power, not comforting illusions. And if you want to continue learning these strategies that separate the dominant from the dominated, subscribe to the channel now and activate the notification bell, because the next video will reveal even more obscene secrets about how to build limitless power. The war has already begun. The only question that remains is, will you fight or will you watch?